All right, Addy just told you the 10 mistakes that can cost you $642 on a Carnival cruise. Now I'm here to tell you the one decision that happens before all of that, and it can cost you even more: the cabin. Now I'm going through all 4 Carnival Cruise cabin tiers today: the interior, the ocean view, the balcony, the suite, and I'm keeping a dollar counter running the whole time. Every upgrade step, you see exactly what it's gonna cost you. And by the end of the video, you're gonna know which one is actually worth it for the way you cruise and which one is a $500 trap dressed up in a really nice photo. Because here's the thing, Carnival's cabin marketing is real good. The photos look amazing, the upgrade price looks reasonable, and then you're on the ship and you realize you spent $400 extra just to sit on a balcony twice. But we gonna fix that today. Now let me tell you why this matters to me personally. I've watched people on our group sailings book the wrong cabin for their travel style every time. Not because they didn't do the research, because the research they did was based on the photos, just not the reality. You see, the balcony looks beautiful in a listing. The photo was taken with a wide angle lens at golden hour. In real life, you're looking at 35 square feet, right? 2 chairs, a small table, and a divider between you and the cabin next door. 16 Carnival sailings between us. I done been in all 4 of these cabin tiers multiple times. I got opinions, and I'm gonna give them to you straight. But real quick, before we get into it, what cabin do you usually book on Carnival? Drop an A in the comments if you're an interior cabin, or B if you always go balcony. We're reading every single one of them today. Okay, let's start with the interior cabin. Let me put you on to something. That interior cabin is the most underestimated room on a Carnival ship. Here's what you actually get: a clean room, a good bed, a good shower. It's blackout dark, which on a cruise is not a bug or a problem. It's actually a feature. Those interior rooms are pitch black at 10 in the morning if you want them to be. That's a thing, and that matters to a lot of people. And about 185 square feet on most Carnival ships, that's small. But here's the question I always ask people before they knock it: how much time are you actually going to spend in that cabin? If the honest answer is I'm sleeping, I'm showering, I'm changing, and then I'm out, then the interior does every single one of those jobs at the lowest price you're gonna find on the ship. Now, on a 7-night Carnival sailing, interior fares started around $500 to $700 per person. That's your baseline. Everything else is gonna be an upgrade cost on top of that number. So I want you to keep that in mind. So, who is this cabin for? Solo travelers, couples who cruise for the experience, not the room. You got first timers who don't even know yet how they cruise. Off the ship, all day, every day, the interior is doing its job just fine. Let's talk about an ocean view. This is the tier that people skip over. And I'm gonna be honest, I understand why. It sounds like a weird in-between. It costs more than interior, but you still can't go outside. You're just looking through a little round piece of glass. But here's where it gets interesting. You see, the price jump from an interior to an ocean view is usually going to be the smallest jump on the whole ladder. $100 to $150 more per person for a 7-night sailing. You're paying about $20 to $25 per person per night for natural light and a view. That's it. And you see, that's not nothing if you have any sensitivity to small, dark spaces. If you like waking up and seeing daylight, if you have kids bouncing around in and out all day, then that ocean view changes how the room feels. You feel like you're on the water instead of just crashing in a box that sits normally below deck. Now, here's where ocean views can get you: the window placement. Hear me out. On some Carnival ships, the window on an ocean view cabin is normally obstructed. A lifeboat is blocking it. There's a hull angle cutting it off. You get a sliver of daylight and a whole lot of metal. That's not the photo that you saw when you booked, right? So make sure you check the specific cabin number before you book, not just the category, the number. Go to cruisedeckplans.com. It's free, takes you about 2 minutes, shows you exactly what's in front of that window. That's a non-negotiable for all our trips. I like to know where I'm at. This is the cabin that most people on a Carnival cruise end up upgrading to, and I need to have a real conversation with you about it, all right? I'm not here to tell you the balcony is gonna be bad. It's not bad, but I'm here to tell you that balcony is not what the photo makes it look like. Not on Carnival, not at that price. Here's the actual math on the space. Carnival balconies run about 35 to 40 square feet on most ships. That's just barely enough for 2 chairs and a small table. You're not laying out there. You're not setting up a whole breakfast situation with room service. You're sitting, you're having a drink, and you're watching the water go by. Which, listen, that is a real nice thing and all, but it's a specific limited thing. Now, that price jump from ocean view to balcony is about $200 to $400 more per person on a 7-night sailing on newer ships like the Mardi Gras or the Jubilee. Now, that gap pushes higher. You could be looking at $500 to $600 extra per person for a 40 square foot outdoor space you may or may not actually use the entire trip. And here's the part I'm gonna need you to sit with, all right? The way you cruise, it matters more than the room you're in. I've done dozens of sailings, and there are ones where I barely sat on the balcony. When you're doing the pool, the dining, the shows, the comedy club, the bar, the cabin is where you sleep and change. That's it. That's all of it. When is the balcony actually worth it on Carnival? Long sailings, about 10 nights or more. Sea day heavy itineraries. If you get seasick and need fresh air, it's right there. If you're celebrating something big and the space matters to the memory. But if you're on a 5-night Bahama sailing, a booze cruise, port every single day, off the ship by 8 a.m., back by 6, you're not using that balcony. And you just paid $400 per person for it. So I'm not saying don't book it. I'm saying know what you're actually buying before you click that upgrade button. Ooh, how sweet it is to talk about the suite. Let me tell you what actually changes when you book one on Carnival, because the room is honestly the least interesting part of it all. The space first. 265 to over 500 square feet depending on the suite tier. And the balcony, now we're talking something real. 65 to over 200 square feet on ships like the Mardi Gras. That's not the same balcony we were just talking about. That is a place you can actually live for a week. Now, what actually changes day to day? Priority boarding. Suite guests get on the ship first before the lines even form. You get dedicated concierge. On some ships, you get that Serenity adults only deck with suite priority. You get the suite lounge on select ships, and the service level shifts. The staff just responds differently when they see your cabin tier. That's just how it works on Carnival. But here's what I need you to hear though. The Carnival suite is not the same as a suite on a luxury line. The finishes, they're Carnival. You're getting more space, a better position on the ship, and priority perks. If that's what you need, the value's real. But if you're expecting luxury hotel suite energy, Carnival is not the place to look for it. All right, so here's where I land. No hedging, straight, no chaser. I'm giving it to you, RAW. The interior, A for value, cruise for the experience, not the room. Short sailings, don't let anyone make you feel like you made the wrong call. The ocean view, it's a solid B+. If the price gap is right and you check the window, the smallest upgrade cost on the entire ladder. Balcony, gotta give it a B, but with conditions. It's worth it on long sailings with sea days, questionable on anything under 7 nights that's port heavy. So make sure you check your itinerary before you click upgrade. And the suite, I honestly got to give it an A- for the right traveler, milestone trips, repeat Carnival cruisers, anyone who genuinely wants to live on that balcony. Just go in knowing what Carnival suites are and what they aren't. So my pick for most people booking Carnival, for the first or the second time is going to be an interior or an ocean view. Put that upgrade money toward experiences, specialty dining, excursions, and your drink package. All right. Now, if you've been watching us for a minute, you know how this is exactly the conversation I've been having in the DMs every week. Before someone's sailing, Terry, which cabin should I book? Now you got the full answer. It lives right here in one place. And now that you know which cabin tier fits your style, the next question is which Carnival sailing to actually book. And we broke that down too. That video, it's right there.